guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Restorations and Repairs. It's a rainy Saturday, but I've got work to do. I've got a brand new carburetor we're going to be putting on the Beetle today. This came from Max Peating Rods. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Very inexpensive, and you know, it's a decent looking clone of a PICT 34. So I think it'll do just fine. It also came with some mounting stuff, different size fuel jets in case elevation differences. In my case, these would be going the wrong direction, and base gasket, as well as some replacement studs. I also have, you may have seen in the last video, some genuine cloth braided fuel line be using on this project as well. We're going to replace that, and a brand new fuel filter. This is the standard Volkswagen filter of its time. Not a lot of tools needed to do this job, honestly. I've got a 12 and a 13 and a 12 and a 13. That's usually all it takes to swap one of these out. So that's it. I'm going to move the camera around back and we will swap this thing out, and then it'll be time to fire it up in the final part of the series. So here we are in the back of the 66. First thing I'm going to do is remove the air cleaner, and we'll just set that off to the side for right now. And then here we go. Here is our unit. We have our fuel cutoff solenoid, which is this green wire right here. And then we have our electric choke, which is this red wire back here. We'll go ahead and unplug both those. We have our fuel line here, and we're going to be replacing this fuel line, so I'll pull that off on both sides here just so we can get a measurement. This is exactly what causes fires here. This is US made, but it is also standard size, so it is 3/16, which is very close, but not close enough to keep you from losing your car in a fire. So I don't recommend using that stuff. However, I do have a nice piece of replacement here, so we'll just cut that down right to that same size, and that will be waiting for the new carburetor. So we'll go ahead and put that on there as a placeholder. All right, got a 13 and a 13. That should be what it is anyway. And then you do have a flat blade screwdriver. You'll need to loosen the throttle cable as well. So let's go ahead and see if this is all the right size. It appears to be. Yep, it's a 13. Okay, we'll go ahead and remove this. This doesn't take a ton of time. Not a horrible process in its entirety. Okay, we got one. The back one's a little tougher. I like to take the distributor cap off and kind of lay it down. If we put that down lower, we can get access to that back one. And these should not be extremely tight, nor do they have lock washers on them. They do have washers if they still have the washers. This one was missing it, but it should have a washer on it. That's all it really is. It's in place usually to keep them from falling out. Now, even though this is a 66 model, this engine is a larger engine out of a later engine, and it does have an alternator. It's been upgraded to 12 volts. So this is going to be more standard of the job of replacing a carburetor on something like 71, 72, 73, 74, that era. All right, we remove our fuel line, and we are ready to pull this up and out. Let's see if we can keep the gasket from falling. Yeah, it's kind of stuck on the back there, so we'll need to do a little bit of work to get that gasket material off. You don't want that getting into the engine, but you also don't want it sitting on there. So there's the gasket. This carburetor is not in terrible shape. It probably was more the fuel tank causing issues. So I will certainly keep that. It's a genuine VW Solix. You know, these aftermarket ones, they work. A lot of them work anyway. Not all of them. Mostly they work. And so, you know, you got access to a spare parts one if you need it or whatnot, but that's what we got here. All right, so let me pause the camera. I'm going to clean that gasket off real quick, and we're ready to go back together. All right, so we've got our new gasket here and our new studs. Go ahead and get this situated and slowly lower it back down into place. I want to make sure I keep my wires out of the way. There we go. And if you're concerned, you can go ahead and plug your choke wire back in so you don't forget, because I have. It's all fine and dandy until the first storm hits and it's a cold morning and it won't start. There we go. Same thing over here. If you want to go ahead and connect your green line, you can here. That's for your fuel cutoff. And then we're ready to tighten it down. I'm going to reuse the original bolts because the new ones are 12 and I just don't want to have to carry extra tools, so 13 it is. Go ahead and get the front one started. Okay, and then we'll move to the back one. You remember when you snug these down, you don't have to go crazy on it. You want to stop any possible air leaks, but you don't want to squish it down so hard that it deforms that gasket or makes it extremely difficult to replace it the next time. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and snug it up. I like the kind of chrome finish, I'd call it, that this Max Peating Rod's carburetor has on it. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that's just the material they used to cast it from, but it looks nice. Okay, so that should be about that. Now it does come with rubber caps on everything, which is nice because, you know, some models, I'm going to replace this distributor with one that has a vacuum. Well, it has it actually. I don't know why it's not hooked up, so I'll probably fix that off camera there, but I'll hook that back up to that port there so that we have functioning advance and retard on the ignition distributor. And we just kind of move that back down on there, and there we go. Okay, last thing I need to do is rehook up my throttle cable, but I need to snag a piece, this piece right here. And so it goes, this part goes in here. All right, guess I'll go ahead. And before I install this, we'll go ahead and fix this. Now this fuel line here, it was newer. Well, I wouldn't say newer. You can see inside here, there's actually quite a bit of cracking and splitting on those hoses. They're brittle, they're dried out, ethanol, gas, all that stuff. But this is where our fuel line is going to be replaced and also upgraded to having a fuel filter. So what I'm going to do here is install a new piece here, like so. And then I'm going to remove this. Yeah, this was really ugly actually. You take a look at that. That's just falling apart. You can see the rust in there. Look at the rust in there. That's what I've been dealing with. And that's why the carburetor that is on there just needs major work now. All right, I've got that. I'm going to go ahead and attach this right about in between here. Okay, so I'm going to snip this off. I'd say right about there. Maybe a little more. I'll give it that. There we go. And we'll get our fuel filter. There is a direction of flow. It is this way. So make sure you're aware of that when you put it back together. Again, oddly enough, it would seem counterintuitive not to have a hose clamp, especially on a fuel line, but they don't ask for it. In fact, they tell you not to do it. And we'll take our last piece here. Actually, that's a little too long, isn't it? Okay. Well, we can fix that. I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I think I'm going to trim it from this side here. Let's go ahead and get this one hooked up. So we ended up with just 1 meter of fuel line, it being enough for this project. Put our cap back on here. And we had one wire fall off, so we'll get that set back up on there. And that's all she wrote. Get this. We're ready to fire this thing up. I am going to actually reuse this fuel line, and I'll probably use it to hook that up, but not right this second since, oh, that's broken. I bet you that was leaking pretty good. See that busted one there? So we'll have to snag a rubber piece off of one of these. There we go. All right, so that's been replaced so we don't have an air leak there. Last step, let's put the air box back on there. Of course, there'll probably be some adjustments that need to be made, but for right now, I just want to get some fuel pump through there. There we go. And that, my friends, is that. I guess that'll do it. There's not a whole lot to this episode other than if you've never replaced the carburetor on one of these things, there's not much to it. And in the next episode, we'll throw some gas in here and wrap this whole series up. Is the work on this thing done? Oh, no way. But now that it's safe to drive, insured and all the rest, it's time for me to take it out and see what it's got, see what it needs. I know there's some clunking in the suspension, but I don't want to condemn anything quite yet. Also, there's some leaks. It looks to me like the tubes on the bottom, the rocker arm, are leaking a little bit, the O-rings there. So I could pull the heads and fix it, or I could get those spring-loaded ones and just end up pulling valve covers. We'll see. We'll see what that works out there. But I guess that'll do it for today, my friends. Till next time, take care.